to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss.
Pacers were going to make the playoffs. It didn't end so well for you, brother.
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walk the mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool.
You fell asleep at the trade deadline when we had a trade to get Kyle Lowry out of here.
They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running. Toes they gonna take
this is what we got to tell.
I've been doing this.
I felt it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I felt it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I'm paying the cost. I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome to Refuse to Lose Sports. My name is Joe Jordan, as you can see on top of my screen. I'm excited about today's show. Like always, we got some good topics for y'all today, and we just threw in a last-minute topic that y'all might enjoy. But look, let me tell y'all what we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about Paul Pierce on Undisputed taking credit for LeBron James' success. We got to address that, right? Luka Doncic got voted the best NBA player this year by the ESPYS. Did they get it right? Because he didn't win MVP. We also got to talk about James Jones. James Jones made some crazy comments about Aaron Rodgers, saying that he should sit at the GOAT table. Do we agree with that? And lastly, Jalen Brunson is receiving an extension right on time, and we got to talk about that. But I got two of my bros with me. I got Davey Dollars right here. You know, Mr. Doghouse himself. And I got Mr. Your Done Son, host of In the Red Corner. How y'all doing, fellas?
Man, you know, Dave, coming on In the Red Corner is like welcoming somebody into your house. But I don't like how you started that in the chat, man. You know, we jumped Ricky, man. Y'all jumping me? Like, what's going on? Like, what happened there? Earl got a chance. But other than that, man, I'm doing good. I ain't doing JB good because, Jalen Brunson good. He just got all them M's. But other than that, I'm doing good. It's Friday, still breathing, blessed and highly flavored. So I'm here. How y'all boys doing?
It's something to best and highly flavored.
Hey, it depends on who you talking to. You know what I mean? We had an episode about cookies.
You're right. You're right. Hey, I'm definitely feeling great today. You know, she got my satin line turban on, able to, gotta keep my hair moisturized a little bit,
Speed past that.
You always taking some kind of shot, man. Always.
What I do?
Like my mic. It was my mic.
My mic is on, honestly.
But it's Friday, man. It's Friday. We finna have fun today. The big three is definitely about to have y'all going to a weekend thinking about a lot of stuff that we said today. Cause every topic, it could definitely be a debate somewhere in there. So let's see if we can spark some fire like I did in the Red Corner and BWT. I'm trying my best to make an argument everywhere. So but like I said, it's Friday, and it's almost that time. This is around the time ladies still get free in the club, but this club ain't free to get in no more. You gotta pay to get in this club. So let's turn up on Friday.
Turn me up.
Jody, do you think?
All right, y'all. We are streaming this on 3 platforms: YouTube, Facebook, and X. So make sure you like the video on the platform you're watching it on. Subscribe and follow on all of our platforms if you haven't done that yet. And share this video with somebody that's a sports fan so they can come on and watch live with you, because they can be involved in the comment section like you are. I hope, use the comment section. We can see all the comments y'all will be putting out throughout the show. Shout out to my brother, Mr. RBO, Real Ballers Only himself. He been tapped into the Summer League all day today. Shout out to my boy Vaughn being the first comment. Let's get it. And like he said, let's get it. Enjoy the rest of the show. Tomo, floor is yours.
Now, I knew at some point having Paul Pierce on Undisputed was going to stir some controversy. I mean, technically, he kind of started it already when he was talking about how the Celtics were going to sweep the Mavs. I think that's what he said. And also just him and Skip trying to find a way to, make Keyshawn upset. I mean, that's a little upsetting to me because I know Keyshawn, you find ways to get Cowboys in trouble, so I ain't too mad at it. But we got to really talk about it, man. He said something today, and I knew it was going to have the NBA chat going up. Some people was going to be upset. Some people was going to find a way to make clarity of it. But from the big three in Boston to the big three in Miami, these two have some history. Paul Pierce said he feels as though
I got the audio.
Oh, you got it?
The audio.
Oh, I'm cool with the
Yeah,
audio.
video.
Drop it.
Play
It's
it.
out the audio. It's out the audio. Let's get it.
Drop it.
Hold on. One way, y'all. Hold on.
Drop.
Here we
see
go.
what happened there.
I truly feel responsible for taking LeBron to that, taking him to that next level, because when he went to Miami, game 6 in Boston, where we had him on the ropes to go back to the finals, I think that was the game that took LeBron to the next level, to where his career from that point on.
And was he doing a lot of that against you?
It wasn't a lot against me. I was a little older, so we switched off a little. I guarded him half. Brandon Bass was guarding him. But, I think that right there, game 6, I believe it was first year in Miami.
We
We was up 3-2.
There we go.
So basically, was he telling his story or the truth?
Ooh.
You really got to figure this one out. So this is a good one because, my guys up here, we got the MJ versus LeBron debate. Joe held it down on that one. We got a Miami Heat fan here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go first on this one because you guys probably got way more to say than what I would say. Because to me, when I heard the clip, first thing I said was, man, stop the cap. Then I came back and said, wait a minute. Let me think about this. Because for every hero, you need a villain. In order to get better, Goku always had Vegeta. And then, even with Vegeta, Goku always found a way to be better. So in this sense, Paul Pierce could be LeBron's Vegeta. Technically, they're not friends. They're more like frenemies. But even when it was time to fight Frieza, still, Vegeta would try his hand. And then, Goku got to come in and clean everything up. Even with the kids, even Gohan had a little bit more power. But I kind of agree with what Paul Pierce is saying. He kind of pushed LeBron. If you think about that series, and I remember vividly where I was at when this series started, and I wanted Boston to win because I could not stand that big three. Like, why would y'all go do that? At least the big three in Boston when they were older. But I had no gripes with Bosh and Wade teaming up. I'm like, they're going to be good together. Miami straight. And then LeBron go down there with all that, not 1, not 2, not 3. I wanted them to lose so bad. And then that game came on. And LeBron dropped not 1, not 2, not 3, but 19. What did he drop out? 45 that game? Put buckets on him, 45 and 45 minutes. That right there was the test that he needed, and he passed because you got to think with this same Celtics team, they was in his head when he was in Cleveland. They was beating him up. I was just like Jordan with the Pistons. Sometimes you need that test, and once you get over that hurdle, you slide into greatness. And ever since then, I mean, outside of LeBron's finals appearances and losses, LeBron has been living up to expectations and he's been balling out. So I can agree. I can't say all of it was Paul Pierce, but some of that test right there definitely took him to another level. I agree with that one line. In Miami Dave, tell me what you think when you heard that one.
All right, so let me get this correct. Is he talking about the first year LeBron was with Boston or the second year? LeBron was with Miami.
He talking about 2012 when they were down when LeBron had that performance Tom was talking about. 2012 when they won their first championship.
Okay. I would agree with him if he said from 2011. That's why I would have agreed. However, I'm going to disagree because this isn't the first time LeBron got them out of the playoffs because he did play them in 2011 and they beat Boston in 2011. They also beat Boston in 2012. So that's 2 straight years he got Boston out in the playoffs. I would have agreed that if that was LeBron's first time being able to get over the hump against Boston. Now, I understand the situation to where Paul Pierce and the Celtics were basically up 3-1 going into game 6. And if it wasn't for that game 6 win, pretty much we out the playoffs. Then you got all the other stuff that could come with Miami. They might be getting breaking up and all this other stuff. I hear that. But saying that you're responsible for LeBron elevating his game, I think it's the wording that kind of throws me off a little bit to say that you're responsible for him elevating his game. Because I feel like he elevated his game that next year that had nothing to do with you. He elevated his game that next year because of what happened in the 2011 finals for him not showing up. That is what made him elevate his game, not because of the Boston Celtics or because of Paul Pierce and that game. Yes, it would have meant a lot if he did not get there, but LeBron was still who LeBron was. There was nothing that series did to elevate LeBron's game. His game was already there. Maybe his mentality. But then again, you can give that to Dwayne Wade because Dwayne Wade also made a switch that next year and said, LeBron, you need to be the leader. You need to be the guy. You're the superstar. You're the best player on the team. You need to take over. You need to be the guy. So do I think he's responsible for him elevating his game? No. Do I think he helped elevate his game from being from one of those guys? Yes, I think he helped, but responsible for it? No.
First off, Vegeta wouldn't be Paul Pierce because Vegeta never beat Goku. Poor Vegeta, man. That's my guy, too. They did him dirty on Dragon Ball Z. Right. And then on one time, I thought he was going to get his dub. Gohan was the hero. I'm like, Goku finally did it. Who's going to be the hero? It got to be Vegeta. Team Gohan. What the world is Dragon Ball Z doing?
Is that
my man one victory? Huh?
Would that be Bronny? I'm joking. Go ahead.
It's funny because real quick in the chat, see, I don't think it's no big Dragon Ball Z fans in the chat. I be doing some Dragon Ball Z gifts and nobody be laughing. But somebody called you remember that meme when Vegeta be like, here's another, I forgot what he said. Look at me, basically, like another me, right? And he showed Trunks. And then they had when Goku showed Bronny. And then right after that, I showed a video of Cell killing Trunks.
That's exactly how it went down too.
But I'm with you, Tomo. I'm with you. I wish they can hear this. I hope he can hear me say this. I'm with you, Tomo. Oh, he could.
Just like that. And just like that.
I'm with Tomo. See, this is what Paul Pierce said. He said that first he said, I feel responsible. Then he said, I feel like I helped. Like he was part of the movement of LeBron's switch. And the switch he's talking about is mentally. LeBron, twice he got stopped by the Celtics in Cleveland. He did beat them in 2011, 4-1, I think. But in 2011, the chosen one became the frozen one. Shout out to Skip Bayless. And then he had to redeem himself the next year. You get back to this situation with the Celtics, and the series is tied 2-2. You are going against your arch rivals who's been holding you back. You're at home. Have an opportunity to take a 3-2 commanding lead. What happens? Paul Pierce knocked down 2 free throws with 1:30 left. Goes up by 2 points. LeBron tried to lay it up. I don't care what he did. Shot it, missed. Hasman gets a rebound, gets fouled. Makes 1 free throw, misses the second one. You up by 1, or you down by 1 against the Celtics. Paul Pierce got the ball with 30 seconds left. What does he do, Dave? He calls a screen on LeBron James' guy. LeBron James checking on one-on-one, step back 3, dagger. They go up 3-2, going back to Boston. I think everybody in the world that unless you were a LeBron fan was like, it's over. There's no way. It's over.
I was like,
If he would have lost that, they would have lost that game 6.
I'm not a LeBron fan, but I'm a Miami fan. So I'm that other fan that did not think it was over.
Man, I thought it was over. Because they were going back home. Like, Celtics going back home up 3-2. And we've seen this movie before. So if they would have lost that game 6, that big 3 would have got blown up. That would have been back to, like, after saying you're going to win 7 and back-to-back years, you folded. And what LeBron do? He had the best game in his career, in my opinion. After that game, we saw a different LeBron James. His whole mental change. Have y'all ever seen LeBron fold since then? You haven't seen him. So I gotta give Paul Pierce some credit for this. Like, I'm like, hold up, bro. I think I seen him before.
Nah, you're right. Nah, after the Mavs and that, yeah, he definitely helped him mentally go to another level. Like it's either fatigue or something. Like the team just had to been better than his. Like,
so
I don't know.
So I get you, Dave D. Wade help or people help. Paul Pierce said we were part of that too. Like, he said, people feel like it's wrong. People take it wrong. People feel bad, crazy about it because it's Paul Pierce saying it. Paul Pierce like, look at me.
It's like Gilbert Arenas.
For me, it's not even the fact that Paul Pierce said it. It's what he said. Saying that you're responsible for it. That's where I think he felt like he went wrong for that. Now, I know he said he helped, and that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense than saying that you're responsible for someone being able to get to the next level. I don't agree with that at all.
I think he was part of it though, because if you look at
yes, I think he helped.
Okay,
cool. He said responsible. That's different. Saying you're responsible for and saying that you helped is two different things.
I think he said I was responsible. Then he said I was part. Like basically, he could kind of correct himself and say I was like part.
And
of it.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with saying that he helped, but saying that you're responsible is an absolute no.
No, he wasn't fully responsible.
And I'm not a LeBron fan, so
he wasn't fully. But just like Isaiah Thomas with Jordan. He was
Isaiah Thomas wasn't responsible, but that team definitely helped Jordan get to where he was and why he became the GOAT.
So like respect to AJ in the chat because AJ was like he agreed, like like Paul Pierce is 1-on-1. Like he was the truth. The truth will set you free.
Yeah, and that was one of the games where you can look and say you've never seen LeBron more focused. Like he was truly locked in from the beginning. He ain't dapped nobody up. He ain't laughed, none of that.
That was the most focused I've ever seen LeBron James. I haven't even seen him that focused since.
He went crazy, bro. Like he went crazy that game. He had 45 points and like 6 assists. That's it. 6 is not even a lot. But he had like 15 rebounds. Like that's like you could tell the man was like, I'm taking us home. And that's what I be telling LeBron fans. Oh, he averaged 28, 10 and 10. Bro, can you average 35, 7 and 7? We don't need 10 assists for you. We need 35. Sorry, y'all.
No, you did the right thing. All I was saying was
Joe was getting back into the LeBron and MJ debate.
What do you want him to do? He averaged 28, 10 and 10. I'm like, bro, we don't need 10 and 10. Like, we don't need 10 assists from LeBron. We need 35 points a game.
And that's what I was saying too, Vaughn. I feel like it's because of what happened in the finals. I don't think it was solely because of Paul Pierce and the Celtics. I think it's because he folded in the finals when he should have been the guy.
The reason why I think it helped.
That's true, but who was in his way though?
No, I'm not. I'm saying it helped. I'm just talking about from the responsibility point. That's it.
And it's a Celtics. Like imagine.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's
like imagine like this
year, the 49ers. Go ahead.
Like let's be real. Imagine this year.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, right? Y'all play the Celtics Eastern Conference Finals, Dave, and y'all go up 3-2 on the Celtics, and Jason Tatum goes crazy. We're gonna be like, man, Jimmy Butler, man. When Jimmy Butler came out years from now and be like, man, let's say what Paul Pierce said, we all would agree. I'm
gonna disagree if he says responsible. I'll say if he says help, I'll agree. But if he says responsible, I'll disagree.
Yeah, nobody's fully responsible. Like, I mean, but he was part. Because even though the Celtics beat y'all, they beat y'all before. 2 years, they beat y'all already with Udoka. But Miami is still they hurdle. Just like the Celtics were with Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Man, look at how history can repeat itself amongst franchises,
Oh, snap, the same two teams. I'm crazy, bro. I'm just not putting it together.
For real? He just did a bar and didn't even know it. I'm like, it's literally the same exact thing. But
it's always been that.
Players, though.
It's been that. If you look at the East, it's been those two teams representing the finals more times than anyone else.
Dang, how many actually won?
Only we won 2. They won 1.
Oh, snap! They only won 1. You're right. My bad. I was trying to take a shot at you, but you actually won that one.
Get him, Dave. Yeah, Dave. Try to get you.
Yeah, we won 2, they won 1.
Yeah, Dave.
Well, I kind of had a feeling we was all gonna find a way
Uh-oh.
to agree with what Paul Pierce was saying, but it's definitely the wording of it. If you would have said solely responsible, I would have came on here and said, "Nah, he tripping. But once I heard it helped, I said I can agree with that. Even Skip had to agree with that because y'all seen Keyshawn. He was like, as soon as he said, he was like, "Get out of here."
Yeah, he was.
Like, what you
And
talking
Skip
about?
said, "Did you guard him?" He's like,
Skip tried to play with him. Was most of those points on you?
No, we
I
switched
was
off
over there,
on.
Skip.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what do you say?
Oh man,
Did
you see what Javon put, right?
Ignore it. Ignore it.
Oh, I read it.
Ignore
Oh,
what
that's Mark.
Marcus said. Ignore what Marcus said.
Oh, let me put what Vaughn said first. He said, "Don't worry, Dave." That's what he really put to say. "Don't worry, Dave. The Magic back."
Hey, look,
We'll
Wizards
see.
trying to get a 3-team trade with the
I mean,
Clippers.
y'all was supposed to be back last year. Y'all had a higher season than us and still lost in the season series. So I mean,
Ooh.
Dave gonna be on RBO?
And neither one of us made it out of the first round. So.
Is Dave about to make an appearance on RBO?
Oh, I am. I'm ready to make an appearance. I don't care. I don't care. I'm ready to be on any show.
So he like going to Disneyland.
It's fun.
Hey,
it's fun going to Disneyland. You know, I took my kids there before. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm gonna go again.
You know what you should do if you do go on it? I'll tell you off air. We can't prep Vaughn for it, but I'm gonna tell you off air. But speaking of Disney World and ESPN, I mean, we gotta talk about the ESPYS. I mean, it did happen last night. First of all, I know streaming is back and there's a lot of like less sponsorships for these award shows. Like I didn't even know the BET Awards came on until it came on. Same thing with the ESPYS. I was just like,
about the BET
commercials. Hey, I understand. I'm just throwing out one thing that I noticed.
I got you.
Come
Continue.
on, Mark. Pump me banks, Mark.
But with the ESPYS, you would think at least all of the shows that Stephen A. Smith is on, or even if it's on vacation, they would kind of say something about, hey, the ESPYS are happening tonight. The only time we heard about the ESPYS was when they announced this award. And we got to figure out, was it well worth it? Luka won Best NBA Player in the ESPYS. I think some of the nominees, one of them was Jason Tatum. I'm going to just leave it for Jason Tatum as one of the nominees because, you know, it's his summer. So I think we got to talk about it. Did Luka deserve it? And we're going to flip it, and we're going to start it with you, Dave.
Good question.
Was he the best player in the NBA last year? Statistically, you would have to say yes. But I'm not going to agree and say that he was the best player in the NBA last year. I don't think he was the best player in the NBA last year. I think the best player in the NBA last year was in the MVP race and actually finished second. And I think it was SGA. I think SGA was the best player last year. If you look at what he was able to do on both sides of the floor, he was tied for the league in steals with De'Aaron Fox. You know, that's not something that's easy to do, to be able to get to be number one in steals in the NBA. So he was tied with that. He was one of the best defenders on a really good defensive team. And as young as this team is, they were the number one seed in the West. Now, if you want to make that case for Luka, you got to look at where they were before. They were a team fighting for the play-in, and they actually got all the way to the 5th seed and made it to the NBA Finals, which is great. And they beat OKC on that way. So I can see why they would do that, but for me, it's hard to give someone. For me, it's just hard to give someone who was. You know, for me, I just feel like SGA had a better year, just from what he was able to do and where no one thought that he would be. And I mean, you could say the same thing for the Dallas Mavericks as well. No one thought that they would make it to the NBA Finals because of what happened last year. They tanked, didn't make it to the playoffs this year. They pretty much felt like they wasn't going to do it again, but then they went and made some two key trades, getting PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, and that helped their defense out. Lively started playing a lot more, and they got to the NBA Finals. So I can see where that happens. But, I mean, for me, it's SGA. But I'm not mad that they gave it to Luka. He's definitely one of the people that deserve to be in there. So
it's about to be good. Go
I
ahead,
just
Joe.
said SGA.
Although SGA, I'm gonna hit you with the chorus.
Wrong
Yeah.
answer.
I gotta make that a sound bite. But I gotta disagree with you, Dave. Now, although SGA was my MVP, but MVP is never based off the best player because team success is involved in an MVP. And what did I say, y'all, when I did my top 5 MVPs? Luka was third. And I said, if Luka was a top seed, he's going to win MVP because he got everything else. He just don't have the seeding. Luka Doncic, we not talking about, who got the best team or the best individual player last season. It was Luka Doncic. I gotta be real. In the regular season, Luka was the best player. Let's talk about numbers real quick. Luka, first off, had a 70-point game. We forget about that. 70-point game. And I'm not mistaken, I think he almost had a triple-double. I think he had a triple-double. I think he had a triple-double in that 70-point game. Somebody fact check me on that one real quick. Luka averaged, he had 9 rebounds and 9 assists. And he also averaged 33.9 points. That's the most points per game by anybody who averaged 9 rebounds, 9 assists. So he broke history right there. We rolled into the playoffs. What did he do? He beat the Clippers, who were somewhat, I guess you can say, were better than them talent-wise, but Kawhi in their place. Let's scratch it off. He beat the number 1 seed, the guy you said is the best player, SGA.
He had a double-double. He had a double-double.
Yeah.
Not a triple-double.
Yeah, 70 what?
He was 73 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists.
Whew, dang. But yeah, he went against SGA and OKC and beat SGA and OKC. He went against Anthony Edwards, who somebody, my man Mark, put in the comment section who was the best player. He outplayed him and beat him. And we saw what he did in our last game. Woo! Game 4 went crazy. And hit a game winner, by the way. And lastly, Dave, in the playoffs, right? Let's go back to numbers. In the playoffs, Luka Doncic.
I know he was first in almost every category.
The first player in NBA history. Even LeBron didn't do this. Dang. To lead the playoffs in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. So what you said about SGA, what he did on both sides of the ball, because he never guarded the best player. He did get a bunch of steals, though, but he never guarded the best player. Luka did that in the playoffs. Who was SGA in the playoffs when it came to the steals? SGA, my guy, though. I ain't trying to take a side shot, SGA. I'm just for the sake of this argument. And lastly, in the NBA Finals against the Celtics, Luka Doncic led the finals in points, rebounds, steals, averaged 2.6 steals a game in the finals. Wow. SGA only averaged 2 steals a game in the regular season. And then he was second in assists. The youngest player in NBA history to average 25, 5, and 2 in the finals. He was the best player last year. Shout out to Luka.
I was off mute and put the mute on just to go off mute. I don't know what's going on. I feel like Jason Kidd in the finals is trying to figure out what my lineup is. Was it well deserved? Man. Is this a fan award? Like, do the fans get to vote for this? Or is this like a players? Like, who voted for this actual award? Because again, I don't
know. I don't know what goes into the ESPYS voting, honestly.
It's probably a committee.
That makes sense. Because again, I'm gonna try to look up the nominees again, but again, like I said, Jason Tatum was up there. I think SGA was up there. If Ant was up there, it was a tough category to win, but they definitely had to go into analytics and everything that Joe said will give you your answer. Like Luka was flat out the best player in the NBA. You also got to think about it exactly what you said, Dave. Him coming off of the season where they weren't even supposed to be technically, people were like, maybe they get into the playoffs and then they lose again or they tank out. We don't know. Team had to make another few trades to actually add to it, but one consistent factor was there. You got the nominees.
It was Luka, Jason Tatum, SGA, and Jokic.
Jokic. If Jokic would have went to that second round
to the finals, yeah,
that second round was bad for him.
Yeah, and again for these awards, it say best player in the NBA. See, it's kind of good that the ESPYS are after the season because now they can go in totality, unlike the MVP where they give it to you in the middle of the playoffs and you can have a bad playoff series, but yet win the regular season MVP and then going back, we'll be on a debate show. So they got 9 MVPs and 1 Super Bowl. We'll talk about that later. but just a little teaser. But I agree. Like, again, the one single factor that was there outside of Kyrie with the Mavericks was Luka. And if Kyrie was missing games, Luka was there. He also made a great run throughout the playoffs. So, again, even Tatum kind of fell off. Some people say scoring-wise, he was making the plays. But but Luka did get strapped up. So, it's a lot of people can go in there. They can be like, well, why wasn't Jaylen Brown in there? But I'm going to go like this. Luka was the best player last year. I like what SGA did. SGA makes it past the Mavericks. I think he wins that award.
Real quick, Mark said Anthony Edwards, right? If it's a regular season award, he's not even in this conversation for real.
Yeah.
Because he turned up in the playoffs.
Yeah, add not in the conversation when it comes to regular season. Sorry.
Don't get me wrong. They were the number 2 seed, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right, number 2 seed. And
but he wasn't
24 points a game, though.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing outstanding.
He turned up at the right time.
Yeah, in the playoffs, he went crazy.
We saw games where he went crazy, but it wasn't consistent throughout the year.
Shout out to Indiana. Got that game winning block.
Well, I mean, see the chemistry, Joe. I remember what y'all was talking about the chemistry. The chemistry is there because Indiana did what to this team? But he just got paid. Indiana told him have a good night's sleep on us. JB discounters, because that's exactly what he did. He gave the Knicks a discount. Recently, right before the show, Knicks re-signed. Well, no. Jalen Brunson accepts 156.5. 100. Oh my goodness, that's an extension. Then he got 100. Basically, it's 113 mil less than what he actually could have took with the actual Supermax. And he said he did this because he wanted to give him a discount so that way they can add more players to the team. I think there was another quote, and again, I'm gonna paraphrase it because I only seen it in the notification bar, but he was basically alluding to like what Brady and Mahomes would do for their team. If I'm the best player, I want to keep the best players here or add more talent. That's something. I think that's something around the ballpark of what he said, and we just got to react to it. What a summer for New York. I mean, outside of them finally getting trash cans, what a summer for New York. The heat wave, trash cans, and the Knicks are bringing players back. They making trades. They got the Villanova 4. Like, this is a smart move by this player. I mean, some people always say, why would you give the team a discount? Why would you do this hometown discount? Make the GMs actually earn it, blase. But again, when you feel as though you can earn more money off the court and also with your other income, I mean, having multiple streams of income, that's the dream, right? So again, I have multiple streams of income. And think about this. If the Knicks win the finals, how much more publicity and sponsors will he get? Because he's already doing slight commercials and he's doing podcasts. I kind of think this was a small move by him. And knowing his injury history, he probably also looked into it like that as well. It was like, hey, I'm going to need some more help. Because again, who's their coach? And what is he known for? Running players into the ground. So he's like, the more we can amp up this rotation and get more scoring, the more people can help me out. Because again, if you watch the playoffs, what was Jalen Brunson doing? He was bringing the ball down and having to make the play. And he was getting strapped by almost like half the people on the other team. So again, with Josh Hart, give them a break. DiVincenzo, then they got OG back. Randall was probably, I don't know, Randall might be gone though. That might be the only missing element. But outside of that, I'm not mad at what he did, and I like the Knicks' future. I wish the Wizards would have called.
I love what he did. Now I'm going to name, so he getting paid $39 million a year. All right? 39.
Technically.
Huh?
So technically it's 37.1.
37. Woof, even worse. But I mean, not worse. You get what I'm saying? Like 37 million is that money. But I'm going to name some players real quick. All right? Yeah, listen close. Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard. And I want y'all to just think about some names like, what the heck? They don't belong in this category. Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Jaylen Brown, Karl Anthony Towns, Devin Booker, Paul George, Jimmy Butler, Dame Lillard, Giannis, LeBron, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, Luka, Fred VanVleet, Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, Anthony Edwards, Kyrie Irving, Sabonis, Ben Simmons. All them dudes get paid more than Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson just signed his contract. That just tell you the type of team player he is. I respect this a whole lot. He asked them to get one of his best guys over. They went and got Mikal. They went and got DiVincenzo. Right? They went and got Josh Hart. They went and got him. You know, and then on top of that, they kept OG. They got Randall, and they know they don't have enough to beat the Celtics. That's how you know Jalen Brunson is trying to win within these next 2 years. That's how you know that, right? Because when he gets the next 4 years, when he gets his extension, all he has to do is play well. And then when he signs his extension, that will kick in another 2 years, then he's going to get paid a lot more and benefit and make up that money. So it's a smart move, but at the same time, it's a team-friendly move, and I respect this a lot. You know, kind of like with LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Paul did. They all took less money so they can start winning. And once they won, we get in the max. And that's how it's supposed to be, in my opinion. You know, so shout out to Jalen Brunson for being a team player and focusing on winning.
Yeah, it's not too many players that take team-friendly deals. Remember, I'm glad you brought that up about Miami because a lot of people forget that LeBron and Wade took less money, so Bosh could make sure that Bosh had a good enough contract as well, and so they could keep. Some people are going to laugh, but so they can keep Udonis Haslem, who was a key piece in that around that time for Miami Heat.
Why would they laugh? Outside of him
Because
being on the bench.
I mean, because you know how some people don't realize how important he was during that time and how good of a player he was off the bench.
True.
But even if you look outside of the NBA, look at Tom Brady. What is he known for? Taking less contracts so his team can continue to compete and win. Mark, I'm not listening to you. You just don't like Miami because you live down there. So that's on you, sir. That's on you, sir. I don't live in Miami, so I could care less about all of that stuff. That's for Gio. That's for Gio to say something about, not me. I live in the DMV where you're from, sir. So I'm not worried about that. And look at Patrick Mahomes. Remember when he signed his contract? It was a team-friendly deal.
Man.
So
still is.
It's exactly. So there are a few players that do stuff like this and it benefits them. Now, I saw something on Twitter where someone had disagreed with the decision for that what he did and said that basically it hurts NBA players. And I kind of disagree with that. So look, max players are still going to get max money. If that was the case, then how come Aaron Rodgers still got a max deal in the NFL? How did Dak Prescott get a max deal? Look at Jalen Hurts got a max deal. Lamar Jackson got a max deal. So did Trevor Lawrence just got one. Justin Herbert got one. You can keep going on and naming these players who took max deals, even though Brady and Mahomes, the two guys that have more Super Bowls than all of these other quarterbacks combined, took team-friendly deals. And if you look at everyone else in the NBA, there are still guys that take max contracts and go win. It does not matter if someone gets a max contract or doesn't take a max contract. And the thing is, what did everybody say about Jalen Brunson before? He was underrated. That means they didn't think that he was a superstar caliber point guard. Remember, he left the Mavericks because they didn't think he was good enough to play alongside Luka. So he's taking a team-friendly deal. Julius Randle is already on the max contract, isn't he? You got Mikal Bridges, who's there. You got OG, who just got a max contract. It does not matter that he took a lesser contract. He can make up for this, like Joe said, in 4 years. In 2028, he can make up for that $113 million that he missed in his next contract. So I don't think it's a bad thing that he did. What ramifications is going to come with this? Do you think players are now going to say, oh, now we got to take less this? No, they still going to get their max money. LeBron James got a max contract just now. And he's about to be 40 this year. You think that matters? It does not matter just because he took a lesser deal that is going to hurt hurt NBA players. I think that's false. I think people are still going to take max deals no matter who they are because that's just what they want. Players are going to get what they want if they play the way they're supposed to. And that's what the Supermax is. If you qualify for these things, you get a Supermax contract. They can't offer you anything less. They have to offer you a Supermax if they want to keep you there. And if not, someone else is going to give you Supermax. So it does not matter.
And to add to what Dave was saying before we move on, LeBron was one of the lowest paid players for a while. Remember, that's what was his whole thing when he went to LA. He was like, nah, I want to actually earn my actual worth. You had players like John Wall and Dennis Schroeder making more money than LeBron at some point. And they were all, like Dave said, they were getting max deals. And Carl, I see what you're saying about NBA and NFL is different, because with the NFL, the owners more so try to be like, well, if he's going to take a discount, why can't you? But then end up still paying him. Like, again, like you said, Brady, Dak, Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, it's about what the players are going to do. And on the back end, some of those players still get more money. I'm still trying to figure out about that cap, though. I mean, they say the cap is real, and then they find ways to maneuver the cap like it's magic.
There's always a first and second apron, I guess. I'm not
the
sure
NBA
how that works.
Yeah, that's crazy. The only aprons I know about is when somebody cooking. I don't know about all that. Now, was he cooking when he said this, or was he tripping? We don't know. But Joe, you were playing a clip before the show started, and I'm telling you, sometimes when we need just some random topics to talk about, it's either going to happen in the chat and we bring it to the show, or we're going to start at the show and then it's going to lead over to the chat. Like, I think this salary debate, but also this debate right here. Dave, we're going to put you on mute for a little bit, but Joe, play that clip.
Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game. From winning, from talent, from everything. When people talk about Aaron Rodgers, they talk about him just because he only has one Super Bowl appearance. Like, the other stuff he accomplished don't matter.
That part.
Like, for me, like, the man is a 4-time MVP, a Super Bowl MVP. Like, what are we talking about? And then when you go to the talent of the quarterback spot, like, for me, I look at this quarterback stuff different. Yes, Super Bowls matter, but it's not the only thing that matters to me, because I believe Dan Marino should be at that table too, because I don't think none of them quarterbacks is like Dan neither, and Dan don't have a Super Bowl ring. I go off of the talent of the quarterback, and I don't forget what you accomplished. And it might not necessarily be all Super Bowls, but the other things you accomplished. Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback, in my humble opinion, especially when you talk about talent and the overall position of the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely special, and he's sitting at them table with them boys. And to be honest with you, if he gets 2 rings, they should be at another table. It should be Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, because when you put talent on top of skill and on top of winning, Joe Montana ain't Aaron Rodgers, man. I love Joe Montana. I grew up in the Bay Area. He's not Joe Montana. Now we talking about the Patties, we talking about the Aarons, we talking about the Bradys. Other than that, I don't think a lot of those dudes, especially when you put the whole package together, can sit at the table with Aaron Rodgers. And I understand everybody want to go straight to the Super Bowl rings. Man, I understand that. But don't forget what Aaron Rodgers has done for this game and the things he's accomplished, man, even if it's only one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I know that's bad for air, but we really just got to let that one sizzle on your spirit. You know, like, there was one segment, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to make sure I heard this right. He said skill on top of talent, on top of winning, makes him better than who? Joe Montana?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Like, wait. Skill? A little bit of talent? Once he said winning, I kind of was like, wait, whoa. You talking about one Super? Just go back to my Troy Aikman situation. Carl, I'm glad you showed up, because here we go again when people start throwing Aaron Rodgers' name out there with some of these legends, and it's like, are we talking winning or are we talking about pure quarterback? That's 2 separate conversations. Dave, I see Dave about to be like, you know what really grinds my gears or really scuffs my New Balances? It's when people just throw Joe Montana name out there, you know?
That's my New Balance.
See you thinking, man. Ooh, I knew that Joe Montana was gonna get you. Shouldn't even be at the table. Like, at the table?
You've got to be freaking kidding me. Joe Montana doesn't deserve to be at the table if Aaron Rodgers wins just his 2nd Super Bowl. Did we forget that Joe Montana is 4-0 in the Super Bowl? That he's never thrown an interception, let alone had a turnover in the Super Bowl? and he's a 3-time Super Bowl MVP. He also is third all time in passing completions. He has thrown for over 40,000 yards. He has 8 Pro Bowls and 15 seasons. That Joe Montana, the Joe Montana that has 9 division titles. That Joe Montana. See, if we're talking about skill, that's one thing. I think we know the talent that Aaron Rodgers has when it comes to footwork, accuracy, the way he's able to throw the ball when he's moving around the field. I know that he is one of the greatest talents we've ever seen in the NFL. But to say that Joe Montana does not deserve to be at the table with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers has 4 regular season MVPs and only 1 Super Bowl appearance. But the fact that if he gets to a second Super Bowl, Joe Montana is no longer at the table. That makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't know what football he was watching, but that does not make sense to say that Joe Montana, a guy who's been the best guy outside of Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, to be one of the best in the Super Bowl when it matters the most. Does it matter more to have a regular season MVP, or does it matter more to have 3 Super Bowl MVPs?
Troy.
That's all I want to know. Joe Montana has done everything he needed to do. And then when he left San Francisco, he led the Kansas City Chiefs to the playoffs right after that. And he didn't have a Jerry Rice or a John Taylor on that team, or Dwight Clark. He didn't have a Roger Craig in that backfield with Kansas City. What matters more, winning in the playoffs or winning in the regular season? Because I don't remember the last time Aaron Rodgers had a great playoff run, other than that last time when he went to the Super Bowl. He has 1 Super Bowl appearance for a reason. His defense hasn't been good, but he also hasn't been great either. He's folded in games where he should have won. Do I need to remind you of the 3 times he's played San Francisco in the playoffs and he lost all 3 times?
Not like that.
So miss me with that. That's all I'm gonna say. Miss me with that. That's ridiculous to say that Joe Montana does not deserve to be at the table. That's just stupid.
All right, I'll go. So look, y'all, quick story. When I was in high school, or whatever years when Aaron Rodgers first came about, right after high school,
It's like a little bit after high school. Yeah.
I was a big Aaron Rodgers fan. I remember when he first started in that first year and he finished the season, I was like, I like this dude. He got some promise. And then next year, he had like 4,000 yards, like 28 touchdowns, something like that. And then me and my friend Ron, shout out to my man Ron, big Cowboy fan. I'm like, bro, he's better than Tony Romo. No, he's not. That was I've been like, bro, Aaron Rodgers is better than Tony Romo. Aaron Rodgers is not. Aaron Rodgers, I will never forget when they played the Arizona Cardinals. And they scored on every single drive. There was no stops for it. Like no turnover on downs, no punts for real. And Aaron Rodgers was making it work. Like the Arizona Cardinals, brother, he was wide open. Kurt Warner was slicing them up. And Aaron Rodgers was running for his life, making him plays. And they lost because he got face mask and he fumbled. Should have won that game. But then the next year after that, won a Super Bowl. Great year. Beat the Eagles, Michael Vick. You know what I mean? Beat the Atlanta Falcons, number 1 seed. Then it went and beat the Chicago Bears, even though he didn't play well against Chicago. J. Cole is riding a bicycle. And then tore up the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, top of the world. Talented quarterback, MVP, Super Bowl. Man. And then he turns around. I think he won the MVP after he won the Super Bowl and got the number 1 seed. And what happened, Dave? Lost in the first round to the Giants.
Sure did.
What happened after that? Oh, yeah, after that, okay. He beat Minnesota. Who was the quarterback? I don't even remember. And then lost to the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Then go to playoffs again. Lose to the 49ers. Playoffs again. Is this when you come in, Tomo?
Go ahead. If you just tune it in, y'all, I know who y'all think he's talking about, but it ain't him.
Right? He beat Dallas. Right? It was a catch, right?
He wasn't supposed to beat him.
He beat Dallas, but no offense, Tomo, but Dallas is known for not doing nothing in the playoffs. and lost to Seattle, and he was terrible. They were up, and Seattle got 2 scores in the last like 4 minutes. No, granted, they did get an onside kick, but Aaron Rodgers was horrible. He threw for 55% that game. I remember that game. It was cold, but hey, that's when you shine the best, right? Everybody comes to the Green Bay, right? When it's cold. He was terrible. What's a crying in the post game? You said what?
He wasn't supposed to be there. That's why.
So, and I can go on and on. Next year, beat Washington. Whoop-de-doo, beat Kirk Cousins. And then lost again. Who is right here? I don't know who this is. He lost somebody, all right? Lost again and threw 54%. Beat the Giants, beat Dallas again, lose to the Falcons.
That was another game, Joe. Oh my God. Why you got
they beat y'all twice. that pass. He threw that on the sideline. That pass he threw was crazy, though. I ain't gonna lie.
But
my whole thing is this.
Go ahead, Joe.
And then the what put the icing on the cake for me with Aaron Rodgers is this, y'all. Tom Brady leaves the Patriots and goes to Tampa Bay. That's what they call it. He rolls up in your stadium and beat you. He outplayed you in your own stadium. And then in the second half, Tom Brady was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And they still beat y'all. Like, you had the opportunity to score. You threw to Devontae Adams 3 times in a row, and your coach didn't even trust you enough to go for it. Get the field goal. So, and then how you ended your last year with Green Bay. See, this is my problem with Aaron Jones. It's not about who cares about your talent. James Jones. Let me ask you a question. Who's more talented, Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow?
Herbert.
Who's more talented, Justin Herbert or Jalen Hurts?
Herbert.
Yeah,
Herbert.
think about it. Who's more talented?
I was still thinking about Burrow.
Who's more talented, Justin Herbert or Dak Prescott?
Dak.
Herbert.
Dak. Come on, Tom.
Come on.
Would you put Justin Herbert?
Hold on. Now, what do you mean by talent?
I think he's talking about arm talent. He's not talking about. He's talking about arm talent.
Justin Herbert.
Arm talent? Yeah, it's Herbert. Yeah,
it's Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and then probably Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is talented. He's very talented.
Allen?
No, Mahomes and Rodgers.
You talking about
probably Justin Herbert.
But Tom, see, the same reason why you stopped is the same reason why I stopped. Because when he's talking about Jalen Hurts, because I'm like, Jalen Hurts can run and he can throw. Yeah. So that's why
I'm talking about talent.
But I know he's talking about quarterback talent.
Throwing
the ball and
throwing the ball. Yeah, Herbert. I get
Herbert.
I don't know. Dak threw like 90% of accuracy last year. I'm just saying though, Herbert had Kellen Moore. Go ahead.
Herbert also had broken ribs.
I had a broken throwing. Look, don't let me do this, man. This ain't about that. It's about Aaron Rodgers, man.
But my whole point is, you wouldn't rank Herbert above none of them dudes because it's not about your talent. What are you doing with it?
Exactly.
If Aaron Rodgers is so talented, why is he not winning Super Bowls? Like, why? Why is he not winning Super Bowls? And we got to stop saying it's a team stat because there are moments when Aaron Rodgers has opportunities to win these playoff games, and he's not.
Exactly.
It's not like the Cardinals game I told y'all about when they were scoring every drive. That's not the case. The case is Aaron Rodgers' numbers drop in the playoffs. It does. It's a fact. So Aaron Rodgers is not at the table. The table is Tom Brady. Then it's Joe Montana. And then it's everybody else. You said what?
Mahomes getting his invite.
I say it's Brady, Montana, and Mahomes.
And Mahomes, sorry, Mahomes. It's just those three right now. I'm sorry. It's those three. And after that, it's Peyton Manning. He above Aaron Rodgers. So let's get that straight. And I will say John Elway too. You talking about talent? John Elway was talented too. Now he's not as talented as Aaron Rodgers, but you get what I'm saying. And he was losing, and then he finally won. He got his rings.
That's why I said when you said talent, skill, you got an argument there. Once you said winning,
I mean that cut it off.
I was like, you lost me, bro. You can't say that.
Cut it off for me. That's why I went crazy about Joe Montana. Like Joe Montana, he's one of the most winningest quarterbacks in the NFL history. And you're saying that he don't deserve to be at the table if Aaron Rodgers gets number 2 when Montana has 4 and he's never lost in the Super Bowl,
and
or had a turnover in the Super Bowl, and then he left with the Kansas City and took them.
They almost took them to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I got hyped now.
Nah, that was worthy. I told y'all once I heard, because remember when I came into the studio, I was like, as he kept talking, I was like, that got to be James Jones, because he just kept saying Aaron Rodgers. Then he said, seat at the table. I said, wait a minute. I understand that's your quarterback, But again, if we talking pure quarterback, you have a debate. When you bring in winning,
and then you see who
all
he
I go out
had.
the window.
Then you see who he had defending us on that part. Boy, shut up.
Here's the thing, though. Patrick Mahomes is talented also. Why is Mahomes winning and he's not? Because Mahomes make the plays in the playoffs. Like when you watch the Bills game, Mahomes made plays. You watch the Ravens game, Mahomes made plays in the Super Bowl against y'all, Dave. Mahomes made plays. It's not about your talent, bro. It's about your poise. How do you execute in a great moment? And Aaron Rodgers don't do it. Absolutely. If y'all go back and watch that Bears game when he won his first Super Bowl, he wasn't good. The defense won that game.
Some people say, what's his name? Jay Cutler. If they say if he didn't get hurt, they lose that game.
Exactly. Bro, he was bad. He wasn't good that game. It was cold that game too. But he did lit the Eagles up. He did lit the he killed Dave. You know Darren, coach son. You know Darren's is a Packer fan. Daryl's a Falcon fan. We watched it together. Daryl was Daryl even getting mad. like bro, he was lighting the Falcons up, man. But and then he whooped the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm giving that because you're not gonna have all good games to play. I give you that. But bro, when they lose, bro, he can do more. Except for that only time I would say he couldn't do more after the Super Bowl is when they played y'all, Dave, and y'all ran the ball. Y'all threw the ball only 8 times. It was nothing he can do that game, bro.
Yeah, because it was nothing he could do that game. Nothing he could do that game.
But when we gotta go. Go. But when the Rams ran for 400 yards on Dak, you act like he didn't play good.
I know, no. I didn't put it on Dak though.
No, I'm just saying. I'm talking about because we on air. I had to throw that out there for them people. For them Hurts fans that keep going back and forth on these comments, man. Leave it alone.
I mean, we did have Jimmy Garoppolo. We had no choice but to only throw the ball 8 times. So,
man, and y'all blew him out too. It was like 35-8, something like that.
Yeah,
35-13.
Is that the game where he was like, "I love coming to Green Bay," or he said "F Green Bay" or something like that?
Who?
Jimmy G? After he won.
I don't know.
It was one of them games in the snow after they won. He went off.
That was
that's different. That was different. That was Tyler Hufanga had got. That was that wasn't a blowout. That wasn't a blowout.
Wow.
That was
that
was a game winning.
That's a game with Super Bowl, right? No, that's a game y'all lost to the Rams. That season, y'all beat Green Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all lost to the Rams.
Yeah.
Dude dropped the Robin pick.
Yeah, and then the Rams. Yeah, I remember. I was in the bar when that happened. That's the one time I was rooting for y'all.
I was y'all. I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl that year, so I was y'all like rooting against y'all. I picked the Rams and the Chiefs, bro.
Yeah, I ain't like the super team. I ain't like the super team. I wanted the Rams to lose.
Joe, I thought we was brothers.
But it was my preseason pick. I picked the Rams and Chiefs, and Mahomes folded against the Bengals. See, look, Mahomes against the Bengals, y'all. He folded, and then what did he do the next year? I'm back to Super Bowl. Nothing to do about it being 3 in a row, bro.
So you can't fold in a playoff. So you can't fold in the playoffs and make it back to the Super Bowl, right?
I mean, LeBron did it, right?
I'm just asking for another quarterback.
I know a guy who never did it though. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. He'll go whenever.
Nah, that was very interesting. I know James Jones. I know them comments on that one gonna go up. A lot of people won't be in there because again, when you think of Aaron Rodgers, you think of the run that Joe was saying before the playoffs. Like a lot of people talk about that. It's just like, hey, he's played more games after that.
That was 2011.
Exactly.
Bro, 13 years ago, bro.
Exactly. It's a long time ago.
I had 4 kids since then. Ain't got married.
Hey, man.
I'm posting a 10-year anniversary since you last minute Super Bowl, bro. Like, come on.
That's the last time a Super Bowl was won in Dallas.
Man, I don't even talk about us.
Cool. I was just talking about in the stadium. We couldn't even make it.
You talking about the stadium? He ain't talking about the making it. He talking about
the one he won was in Dallas. That's why it's always a curse. He beat us in Dallas. Mike McCarthy got his 1 Super Bowl there. Like it's just all. Why you think he can win so much at home? That's why the Cowboys is good at home. Mike McCarthy know how to win there.
The Super Bowl in Dallas.
Yes.
Yeah.
When the next time gonna be at Dallas, I'm gonna put my ticket in for Aaron Rodgers to win the Super Bowl.
He might not be playing by then.
Yeah.
Bro,
I don't know the way the Jets going. He might not make it out this season.
All right, get my last words in, man. Shout out to the R2L family. Shout out to the R2L network. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in the comment section. It's Friday. You know, we ain't got no jobs. I kind of do, but you know what I'm saying. And we had a lot to do today. It was a good conversation. But James Jones, man, I like you on that show. Yeah. But your fandom for Aaron Rodgers is wild, bro. Like, it's crazy. Y'all go on shady about Hurts. You need to check yourself out Aaron Rodgers. Like let's be real. All right. But shout out to the speak. You know, we had to use y'all today, but that's all I gotta say to y'all for real. Like the band. Oh, hey, there you go, Mark, y'all. Commanders to the playoffs.
There we go. There he go being delusional already. He said the Wizards going to the play-in and the Commanders going to the playoffs.
Commanders gonna make it though.
They can make the
I'm not going. When we tell our panel though. Panel's coming soon, y'all.
Oh no, that's a good conversation. Who could make the playoffs in the NFC right now?
A dark horse playoff berth. Let's talk about
dark horse.
Let's talk about that next week for AFC and NFC.
Hey, don't as long as it's not Monday. I need to be on the show for that. Don't do it Monday.
Gotcha.
I don't really have much to say other than just I love being able to talk about sports. So appreciate being on the show. Appreciate being on everyone else's show. And if you have a show and I'm free, let me know so I can get on.
My last words.
I'm coming for those awards.
You're not playing. Because bro walked away with 4. He like, nah, we not about to have you in the house. Keep talking like I got 4. He just keep walking around with the trophies. He started polishing them all.
He had called me. I remember one time he FaceTimed me just to show me the trophy. I said, you know what?
Dang. Okay, I like that.
Did he pull the joke when he panned the camera?
Yeah. One of those. It's all good though. He know.
And my last words is more so for, hey, I said it earlier. I don't know if you guys heard me, but I might have to send Dak Prescott that game 6 from LeBron because we need to get over that mental hurdle. So hopefully that can help him. I mean, outside of him doing the Dougie. But shout out to everybody.
Say on Tampa Bay.
I mean, he could beat Tampa Bay.
But he looked good, though.
It's just 2 teams. You know, it's Green Bay and the 49ers. Like, when you see them in the playoffs, like, find a way. If the Cowboys made the playoffs this year, just find a way that the seeding isn't that they don't have to play them too, you know, or at least the conference championship. If we gotta play the Lions, I'm cool with that because we know how to beat the Lions, even though they're a great team. Shout out to Dan Campbell going for it like 6 times on the goal line. But again, those are more so my last words. I just had to say that, man. I've been watching receivers, and yeah, I had to revisit some dark times with the 49ers game. So it is what it is. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody on the network. Keep up the good work and keep the chats going. Not a day goes by. And
shout out to Kennedy Carter. She's a baller. She's been doing her thing in the WNBA. So shout out to Kennedy Carter.
I must say, I've been supporting Kennedy Carter all year, man. I feel good that she's getting her love. But Tomo, in the chats, I want you to tell us how do you feel? Hold on, I'm tripping. You about Dak Prescott? What did you just say?
He was Dougie doing the dancing.
No, we talked about the Tampa Bay. He said only 2 teams, the Lions.
Oh, the 49ers. No, it's the 49ers and the Packers.
And he said avoid them. Dang, I lost my train of thought like crazy. He said you're going to try to avoid them.
Until the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I got to go watch the tape. Because I was going to ask you a question, but I wanted you to answer in the chat. But I'll find out. All right, y'all. That's what we have for y'all today.
Call we neighbors, but I mean, they say we roommates, but I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like, we can move some furniture in the crib. I don't know what you're talking about. We own the lines, man. The rest done saved us about 3 times. I'm just saying. If it's in Dallas, you got a shaky fight.
You moving furniture in the crib. So y'all do live together. Y'all ain't neighbors.
Hey, they want to run with the joke. We gonna run with the joke. But at the end of the day, they know it's a neighborhood. Y'all start losing. Y'all see what it look like.
Oh Lord, we've been there long enough. we own property there. We got the red houses on the monopoly board. We got the hotels and the greenhouses on the board right now.
Pat Riley, don't put us back there again. Don't put us back there again.
The Clippers keep playing. Lakers keep playing. They gonna end up there too.
Well, the Bulls are gonna be there soon.
All right, y'all. That's all we got for y'all today. And we'll see y'all on Monday at the next episode.
Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.